Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a quick look here. Well, not quick, this might actually be a long, boring video for some of you guys. I'm not going to be out exploring or anything, I'm just going to be talking about something really important, and that is where you can and cannot go metal detecting. Somebody gave me a suggestion there, Mr. Turbo, thanks for the suggestion on where you can and cannot go metal detecting, so let's go ahead and talk about that. There's a couple different reasons why people go metal detecting. One is the love of history. You never know what you're gonna find. When you find an old coin or an old relic or something like that, it's really cool. You know, it's like, wow, the last time somebody has seen this coin must have been, you know, 1919 or 18 something or whatever coin you find. I know over in the UK, guys are finding coins from like Roman coins and stuff like 1,000 years old and stuff like that, which is really cool. History is one of the main reasons why people go metal detecting. Another reason is just the love of coin collecting. I am a coin collector myself, and most other metal detectorists are as well. And that kind of also goes along with the history part of it. That's one of the things I like about coin collecting, is the cool old designs, the old history. This is like these coins, this is what people used to use, you know. It's cool to actually hold these old coins and stuff. And probably the most important thing to me for metal detecting, it keeps me focused on something, it gets me outside, you get exercise from it, and it's addictive. It's a lot of fun. It's, you know, it's, if you're going to be addicted to something, metal detecting is probably better than many different addictions that you can have. You could get lucky and find a, you know, an old cache of coins, or, you know, who knows, like, I mean, there you can literally find real treasure when you're metal detecting. There's a lot of different places you can metal detect legally, and there's a lot of places where it's a felony to metal detect. Pretty obviously, you know, trespassing, federal lands and stuff like that, but we'll get into that in a second. So research is probably the #1 most important part of this entire talk. Do your own research, find out for yourself if you can or cannot metal detect in a certain place. Hopefully this video is going to narrow that down for you. One of the most popular places to go detect in would be on a beach, whether it's a freshwater, saltwater, something like that. Most beaches are public or private, so you don't know, you can't just go to any old beach and start detecting. What I do is I always do my research. If it's in a state park or something like that, I'll get in touch with the ranger, just do a quick Google search. You can get the number to, you know, Cherry Creek State Park or something, and you call them up and talk to somebody, and 9 times out of 10 they'll let you detect there. At least for me anyway. People drop stuff all the time. You'll find coins, jewelry, all that good stuff. Another really good spot would be backyards, especially in older houses where the yard has not been disturbed over the years. You look for big trees, look for old sidewalks that haven't been, you know what I mean, like old cracked sidewalks, old curbs and stuff by the sidewalk. All those places are really good, but again, you have to get permission from the owner for these places, unless it's your own house, obviously. But yeah, door knocking is a really good way to go ahead and get yourself some decent silver and who knows what else. Parks. So parks is a tricky one because depending on what, like, I live in Denver, and, well, I live around Denver, and in Denver itself, you're allowed to metal detect, but you can only use a probe. You're not allowed to use a shovel or a digging knife or anything like that. However, over here in Aurora, I'm allowed to use a digging knife, but I also obtained permission directly from the park's superintendent. He's like, yeah, here's my personal phone number. Any cops give you any trouble, just give me a call. The best way to do it is to have them send you an email, and that way you just fold it up, put it in your pocket, throw it into, you know, throw it in your glove box of your car, and then you always have it. The best way to find out about parks and stuff is to make sure you call and find out, or just do a quick online search, find out if it's okay to metal detect in your city's parks. Another really good spot is farmers' fields. They cover a huge amount of certain parts of the country, and a lot of these areas are now farmlands that used to be like historic trails or camps or all kind of cool stuff. But you got to do your, you know, do your history research, find out what places might be worth asking permission for, and then, you know, knock on the door and ask if you could, you know, split the treasure with them or something like that. So yeah, farmers' fields are good. A really good spot, if you can get permission, would be around an old church. Obviously, churches are gathering places for people, and depending on the age of the church, you can find some really good old coins and stuff like that at churches. But of course, make sure you get permission. A real good spot, but kind of junky, getting all kind of trash signals, would be like deserted towns or, you know, demolished cities like Centralia, Pennsylvania. Good research, it will help you identify if it's privately owned and how to get permission and stuff like that. That's up to you in order to get the permission. It's just by doing research. Do Google searches, find out who owns the property, give them a call, and there you go. Another really good spot is in the forest, in the woods. Especially if you do your research, you find out if there was old campsites in there or old hunting grounds or anything like that. I found a 1920 Standing Liberty quarter in the middle of the woods one time, and it was it was about a mile into the woods, and I found an old quarter there. National parks and national forests, okay? It sounds the same, but they're not the same, all right? National forests are okay to metal detect recreationally. So metal detecting on a national forest is okay as long as you're doing it for recreational pursuits. That's what it says on the government website. The most common form of metal detector use is searching for gold nuggets, lost coins, jewelry, and incidental metal items having no historical value. Such use is common in developed campgrounds, swimming areas, picnic areas, and requires no permit on national forests. However, one must assume personal responsibility to notice if the area may indeed contain archaeological or historical resources, and if it does, you must cease metal detecting and notify a Forest Service office. Not doing so may result in prosecution under the Code of Federal Regulations or ARPA. Alright, so I just learned something as I was reading through this government website here. It says, due to the popularity of metal detecting, and since it is illegal to metal detect on known or unknown historical sites, the USDA Forest Service sponsors a public archaeology program through which metal detector enthusiasts and others can help. It's called Passport in Time. It's a national program inviting the public to work with agency archaeologists on historic preservation projects. So there is a link in the description. It's called passportintime.com. I haven't checked it out yet, but I'm gonna after this. Sounds pretty cool. So yeah, locating archaeological sites becomes a joint endeavor, and everybody learns from it. So that sounds pretty interesting. There's also a phone number there. I'll just put a link to this, to what I'm reading here. It's at the very bottom of the page. I'll put that link in the description. So there you go, guys. Remember, educate yourselves before you dig. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. You have to do your research before you go out just swinging your detector around. Seek permission from the property owner. Don't just go into some farm and start detecting. Find the farmer, ask him. If you can't find the farmer, you don't detect there. Dig only where it's legal. And most importantly, I hate it when I see this, but if I'm out detecting in a spot that seems pretty good and other detectors have been there too, and they leave holes all in the ground and everything, and it looks like that gives everybody a bad name. That gives the other detectors a bad name. So make sure you fill in your holes. It's not hard. It's actually easier to fill in your holes than to not. You just cut a plug, you flip it back, you find your coin with your pinpointer, you put it back, you're done. You know, it's not hard. It's easier to do it that way than it is being sloppy about it. So I hope you guys learned something from this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that. I put out a new video every 3 days, and I do want to give a shout out to a new $20 Major Credit Patreon supporter, Trent Seal. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.